Okay. How's it going, everybody? This is, depending on whether you're listening to it or viewing it, more so this is going to be on the YouTube channel side, but I do try to make sure that this is on both for audio and for video. This is the audio podcast, or NOVAKORP audio podcast from Novakast. Hi, everybody. Rob here. And good lord, the odds are never in our favor when it comes to these. Puns aside, I'm kind of going through the bin of like things to talk about in terms of like, you know, stuff to do for these episodes, and I'm pulling something from 2012 actually. Freaking A. Can't believe that it's been that long since this movie has been out. Then again, I do play old games and periodically watch older movies, so makes sense. But either way, yeah, I'm gonna be talking about Hunger Games in this episode, and actually, if anything, I'm gonna just do a whole-on marathon. So like the next up and coming episodes, I'm just gonna focus on the Hunger Games movies. Everything that's been released, current, so on. As far as I know, I want to say this. As far as I know, it's based on a popular book by the same name. And I will say, I do believe that this was... I don't know if this was inspired or this helped inspire a variety of different, you know, other things in terms of like the battle royale type scenario for a lot of different movies, so on. But anyways, before we get into that, quick little thing. Speaking of hunger or whatever, just a real like IRL type thing, just random. Recently, I don't know if I've mentioned this in the podcasts, whether it be, you know, talking to MJ or Aden about it, but apparently my wife and I, we had some chickens and they started laying eggs, so that was fun. We now have they started laying eggs. It's been 6 months for them to you know, fully develop, and yeah, now we got a few eggs from our chickens, and more likely continue to get eggs from them as time progresses. Currently still trying to get through Death Stranding, but I'm just gonna say this: I love that game. I love it so much. It has been so much fun, and when I will say this in terms of like games like Death Stranding and, you know, Kojima and all that, there's a point where like I'm playing a game from them, and that I'll have my bar up to a certain level of what to expect, and then all of a sudden that bar is broken and I am literally like confused as what just happened in certain scenarios, because there are things that have happened in the game that I am just like, wow, I did not expect this to happen, and sure enough, you know, it just keeps happening and happening and happening. Apparently there's a lot of like secret cutscenes that I need to keep an eye out for too. Good lord, I'm kind of curious about that. But anyway, so yeah, we're gonna be talking about Hunger Games, the first one. This was actually, you know what? One other thing I want to talk about, because apparently this came up. I'm kind of iffy of whether or not to talk about this, but apparently there was a situation with an individual, going to Disney World and taking pictures in the bathroom. Some of you know who I'm talking about, because apparently this person's being investigated. I'm gonna do my best not to be political or like skew from one side to the other, but I'm just gonna say this. This is my genuine opinion about it, and I think this is just in general. I mean, if you're gonna take pictures in the bathroom, you know, do it when there's nobody there. I think it's very, I think some people will agree with me that it's very disconcerting, or like overall just like kind of fucked up. I should be more blunt. It's kind of fucked up that you're literally in the bathroom where you have, either parents with their kids, waiting to use the bathroom. You start snapping pics of some person's random kid and them. I'd be a little bit if there was some random person taking pictures and I'm like, caught in the picture with my kid. And I will say that there were apparently some other things that this person has done in terms of content, which is questionable, to say the least, and advertising it for kids, which case that should be a flat out no, like absolute no. I think in terms of certain topics, children should be left out of it till they are at a certain age, not when they're really young. I'm just gonna say that, not when they're really, really, really fucking young. Anyway, enough about that. Enough about the hard stuff. Let's talk about the Hunger Games, which, good God. I will say recently I watched this movie with my wife, and she said she watched it but didn't remember it. I vaguely remembered, a lot of the times, anything I watch is kind of stored. It's like in Dreamcatcher, you have, the little memory warehouse. For me, it's all the useless freaking movie shit. But anyway, overall, Hunger Games, it was released in 2012. It was directed by Gary Ross, written by Gary Ross, Susan Collins, Billy Ray, and it starred Jennifer Lawrence, Josh Hutcherson, Liam Hemsworth, as well as Stanley Tucci, Wes Bentley, Willow Shields, Elizabeth Banks, Sandra Ellis Laforter, as well as Woody Harrelson was in there too. But again, a variety of different actors that were, really good in this movie. I guess for those who have never watched anything related to the Hunger Games, so imagine a dystopian world, okay? I don't want to go into too much spoilers, but I ask you guys to go watch it because it's actually, I want to say, it will hurt. It hurts, and not like hurt bad as in it's a bad movie. It hurts as in it will hurt you emotionally. When you think things couldn't get any worse, it just keeps kicking you in the groin over and over again with the feels. Especially with one particular scene, which I don't want to go into it because again I would end up spoiling it. But just to kind of set the stage, imagine a dystopian area or dystopian world where you have, in a sense, this country by the name of Panem, which I'm close to say that it looks like it's the U.S. I could be wrong. If anybody is watching or listening or whatever, if I'm wrong, please let me know where it's supposed to be kind of set. But Panem, just imagine you have a capital at the center, and then around it you have 13, well technically 12 because it's kind of set up that one of the districts is gone. 12 districts that produce a particular resource for the capital. That is basically the whole setup for this thing. And every year, 2 children, a male and a female, from each district is picked to participate in the Hunger Games. which is basically a battle royale. The winner gets a ton of money, and it's kind of set for life. Now, our story follows a character by the name of Katniss, who ends up volunteering herself as tribute when her sister is picked, and goes on to fight in the Hunger Games. All in all, again, the story itself, it is heartbreaking. There's quite a few times where you are emotionally hurt by some of the things that comes up. I will say that there are moments that are actually really good in terms of I want to say the initial choosing to them being paraded and this whole spectacle of the victors being chosen, and then giving, I guess, if it's trying to get them to getting people to like them in order to get sponsors, in order to get gifts or aid during the battle royale. And all in all, it's a really cool, I want to say, the world itself, the way it's set up is pretty intriguing. And overall, I think the best way I could describe this is it's an emotional roller coaster. It really is. And I want to talk about it more. I really, 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 really want to talk about it more. But unfortunately, it's one of those things where I'm like, dude, you need to watch it. You need to watch it. So, all in all, I want to give this a watch it now, just for the sake of you got anybody who has never seen it to watch it. Again, this was made in 2012, so depending on whether you saw it or not, those who haven't, watch it. It's actually a decent movie, and I enjoyed it. So did my wife, and we were just heartbroken in certain. I don't want to say heartbroken. Well, okay, no, actually, no, take that back. Okay, yeah, we were. I'll say it was again emotional roller coaster for the both of us as we watched this movie. We didn't. There was a lot of things we did not expect, and it was just hard to go through in certain moments. But anyway, all in all, again, go watch it now. Watch it now, please. If you haven't watched it, do it. Do it. Anyway, that is all I have to say, or at least what else, everything that I wanted to say about this movie. All in all, again, just go watch it. So, anyway, I think for now, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Thank you guys all for checking this out. Please leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. Especially if you're on YouTube. Especially if this is, if you're either watching this on YouTube or you're just listening to it. Please check us out on YouTube. If you're on there, like, comment, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. Follow us on all of our socials. Links are in the description down below. Especially on YouTube. Follow our daily content as well as the weekly podcast. With that being said, this is Rob Novakast signing off. Have a good one. Take care. And I'll see you guys next video.